Tennis League. Thank you so much for wanting to interview me so that all you can get to know me better. My name's Marisa Johnson. I'm 23 years old. I've been playing tennis for 14 years competitively, and I was born and raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Basically lived there my whole life until I was 18, where I moved to La'i, Hawaii for college tennis, and those were the best 3 years of my life. A little bit about my ethnic background, because a lot of people wonder sometimes. I'm half Venezuelan and half white. So tell us about your tennis background. So I started when I was 9 years old, 9 going on 10. I was basically given the choice to choose between tennis and gymnastics, and I knew whichever I chose that I was going to go all out, and I chose tennis. And basically from that point on, I was always going to practice every day after school, played tennis tournaments on the weekends, super competitive, and it was a tough time because it was so much hard work, but I'm super grateful. I just love this sport so much. I just always wanted to play. So that's a little bit about how I got started, or when I got started. And then basically once I was ready for college, I went and I played, I played in Hawaii, and it was really rewarding experience. I never look back. According to you, why is it important to become a serve and volley player? So I think it's important to at least learn the techniques of a serve and volley player, because if you are a serve and volley player, then you're always moving forward and you're always moving into your shots. And so many times players will retreat and they will go back when they're pushed back, and then they won't feel like they're super aggressive. So I really encourage players to try out this technique so that they get that confidence and get that aggressive mentality going, so that they're always moving into the court and moving forward. And it's also a lot easier to end the point with a nice winning placed volley when you get up there, as long as you really work on your net game as well. So that's why I think becoming a serve and volley player, or at least adapting that technique to have under your belt, is really good for any player to have. Who ignited you to start playing tennis? Well, my older brother, he's 5 years older than me, he was always playing tennis competitively before I started, and I was kind of the little sister that tagged along to all of his tennis tournaments. So I was basically just hanging in the trees while he was playing his match, but through that I actually learned how to keep score, and I learned a lot from just watching. So my older brother, and my mom kind of introduced it to me, and that's kind of how I got started, just by always going to tennis tournaments and wanting to be a part of it. What's your coaching style like? My coaching style is super fun and energetic. I just like to hit a lot of balls in my tennis lessons. So I coach to continually keep working on a certain stroke until they feel comfortable, and then I like to always put it into play. So after they feel like they kind of get the hang of it, we start playing, and so that they can adapt that into their playing style. What's the most important thing you're trying to teach young tennis players? The most important thing I'm trying to teach young tennis players is that they have so much potential that they don't even realize. I coach so many kids that I can just see that they don't have that confidence, and this sport is such a confidence builder that I just try to teach all young players that if they can get the right technique and they practice hard, then they will be super successful with this sport. And so that's kind of like my focus whenever I get a new client or have clients. I just make sure that they know that they are loved and that they are valuable and that they can definitely crush it in this sport. What's your most memorable tennis moment? My most memorable tennis moment would have to be when I was in juniors. I think it was girls 14's age division or around there. I was pretty small for for being 14, but that was when it was starting to get serious with some of the other girls that I played with. They were getting really good really fast, and I was kind of the underdog. So I was matched up at a tournament to play against this girl who was a lot bigger than me and had a lot more experience than me. But it was in indoor courts, and everybody in the indoor courts somehow started to watch our match because I was actually coming back and winning a lot of these points. So whenever I'm matched up against somebody that is higher ranked or that I know has more experience than me, I accept that as a challenge, that I can definitely take them on and that I'm not as weak and small as I look to be. So I started ripping it and I started winning points, and my most memorable moment was at that point when I think I ripped a winner when she came to the net, and everybody in the indoor stadium just started cheering, and I noticed that they were all cheering for me, and that moment was so memorable to me because it gave me so much confidence knowing that I can do it and that anybody can do it. And so that's probably one of my most memorable moments from juniors. If you have a bad day on the court, how do you make it better? If I have a bad day on the court, I make it better by telling myself that it's going to be better. So if my shots aren't working or I'm just not moving well, then I tell myself, number one, I realize that I'm not moving well and it's not working, and number two, that I can make myself work and I can make myself better. So just by not getting angry, but going back to the basics of footwork and unit turns and all of that stuff that makes your shots come together, I just go back to the basics and I control my shots and I make sure that I'm placing it in, and that kind of makes my day go a little bit better. Tell us more about precision tennis. So precision tennis is a business that Coach Grant Vanderhayden and I have created, and basically we are putting together a whole lot of online tennis instruction. Our goal in the end is to have Precision Tennis Academy and just basically focus it all around the most precise technique possible, everything backed by science, by the studies of Dr. Brian Gordon and legendary coach Rick Macy. We're kind of using all of this information that we've gathered on tennis technique. We also want to get into nutrition, psychology, all of this stuff that a tennis player needs in order to enhance their skills on the court. And we are turning all of that and putting it into products online until we get our academy started. So we're really excited about that. And yeah, we're just pumped. How do you choose tennis tips which you present? So the way we choose which tennis tips we're going to present is basically what people tell us they want or need. So when you're following us on social media accounts, if you message us saying, hey, I'd really like to learn one-handed backhand, or can you please tell me why this is going into the net or whatever, then the most we kind of gather from what we see the most, and then we kind of choose a topic from there. So always message us, tell us what you want to hear, and that's how we choose what tips to give. Who do you think's the best tennis player today, male and female? Ooh, the best tennis player today, I think, I mean, there's so many great ones. The greatest one, or I guess, well, my favorites, I love Nadal, I love Federer, I love Del Potro for the male. It's just, I love their playing style, so I kind of favorite them. And I just love their aggressive behavior and how they're so precise and nailing just everything. Serve and volley, they have that technique. Baseline ground strokes, they have everything. And they're super aggressive players. So those are the greats male. I love Halep for female. And I don't know, Wozniacki. I mean, I can't choose a favorite. They're all amazing. And they all have their own little kinks and things that make them unique. And so I just appreciate all the great players. Who's your favorite player of the next generation? Once again, that is a tough question, and I'm not sure how to answer that, because there's so many amazing players of the next generation. I mean, I can't even pick. I'm sorry. They're just too good. Do you think it's important to cross-train to improve your tennis game? I think it's 100% important to cross-train. I cross-train with yoga and weightlifting, and a lot of running. I think all that combined is it just makes for a great player, because you have to build muscles and you have to repair muscles, and with the stretching with yoga, and you have to build the strength for your tennis shots and making everything precise. And if you don't do that and you just use cardio and tennis, then it's hard to gain the muscle strength needed from just that alone. So yes, cross-train 100%. Your quote to live by. My quote to live by is fail forward. Basically, we are going to fail in life, but that just means that we're getting closer and closer to our goals, because not everybody succeeds on the first try. And I live by this because basically I lived through it. So many failures have gotten me to where I am today, just feeling confident on the court and loving the sport. It's so, it's just an amazing feeling. So fail forward is my quote to live by. Thank you so much, eTennis League, for wanting to get to know me a little better. I hope that you guys loved it, and I can't wait to talk to all of you. Just message me. I love to chat.